I am wiped from the Wednesday night dash race. That was exhausting. We're gonna get into that. Erik's near win on Indy Racing World Series. Sorry, we got to talk about that too. And a weekend of relatively boring racing that we talked about a little bit on Monday. This is F4 Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Fluck.
I'm Erik Richardson.
Oof, yeah, the racing wasn't great this weekend.
No, I think
Yeah,
it's more
the
entertaining in our leagues than it was on the
yeah
big time races.
yeah the criticism of Indy is that they should have made the race a little bit longer. What was it, another 10 laps or so, like it used to be, and then it would have made a little more
It's all
strategy.
fuel savings and no real racing.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden was doing his best Max Verstappen impression, ran away.
He just drove.
They just drove away. He's all business this year. I think he's going to win it all. I mean, if he can stay focused like he did last weekend, I think he's going to run away with it, and it's not even going to be close.
Yeah, he pretty much dropped everything on social media.
It's like, this is
And
all business. I'm here to win. Like,
here I am in the gym getting ready
yeah,
for a season.
he
That's
is
about it.
all business this year. So I will be shocked if he doesn't win.
Oh, Penske. They're on a good run.
Yeah, 1, 3, and 4, or yeah, 1, 3, and 4.
They had a great run there. They are coming off a NASCAR championship, a Daytona
Back to back
24,
NASCAR Cup championships.
GTP win,
Yeah, they're.
Indy
I was thinking.
500
I mean,
again.
I'm thinking. I was thinking about this the other day, where Penske owns the series, owns the Motor Speedway, still operates a very well run team. I mean, I'm sure he's stepped away from the day to day of the team. I think Tim Cindric largely handles the IndyCar side of things now. But I wonder if anybody inside the garage, from an optics standpoint, says the owner of our league, the owner of the most famous track in the world, is also the most dominant team, or one of the more dominant teams. Is it unprofessional that the owner of the series and the owner of the track is standing on the top of the press box cheering when his driver wins the 500? Rogers obviously, I don't think there's any shenanigans going on. I would never accuse. I mean, that guy's the
No, I
complete
don't think
total
so.
professional. But it's like you have to wonder if that thought has run through the garage with any of the other teams. Like, this guy owns it. He's worth a lot of money, and he's dominating. I mean, Ganassi obviously last year with Pillow won it all, but still, he won the 500. His teams are always up there. It's just like,
I'm sure it's been there, but he has such a long history of winning prior to all that that I think it'd be hard to make that case.
this book here, I like having my bookshelf behind me. This is a great read, by the way, if you haven't read this before. Indy Split. It really goes into the in depth of the build up to the split in the 90s and how it nearly destroyed it. But Roger Penske was kind of a double agent through this whole process. He left because he felt he needed to leave, but his heart was still back with Indy in Indianapolis and the Motor Speedway. And he tried multiple times for reunification.
Wasn't it
And
his guys that started to come back over,
yeah,
like Castor Nevis
mhm.
and Junqueira? Um, some of them.
They had Paul Tracy come back and oh yeah. To this, he's gonna say to his grave, he won that Indy 500. What was that, 01, 02, whatever year that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, he will never let that go. Might have an argument there, but great book, by the way. It's called Indie Split. Available wherever you get your books, probably Amazon.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need to read that one still. I'm actually
it's
working through Indy 500 traditions and stuff like that. There's a few things I've actually learned.
There's a book I have on my reading list. I haven't started yet. I actually haven't even picked up the book yet, but there's one about the Beast, the Penske engine, the secret engine from '94, and the whole story behind that. I'm looking forward to reading that. That's going to be sometime this year. I've got so many books behind me now. Like this was good, but this is a long read. I felt it was drawn out to an extent, but um, I joked. I reached out to the Ford dealership and I said I want to buy a Mustang for my next car. But I reached out to the dealership and the sales rep that got back to me, his name was Shelby. I said that right there says I need a Mustang.
Yes, there's your sign.
Yeah, the sales rep's name is Shelby, who works at a Ford dealership. Like, come on. Well, the Ford Mustang's not an appropriate family car. I don't want to deal with two doors. Yeah, making fun of my wife, and I know she's not going to watch this. Otherwise, I would have never done that. But my take on
If
the matter
I
is,
don't hear from you in a few days,
oh, the
I know what
the
happened.
the thing is, yeah, it was my wife. She did it. No, actually, the thing is, like, my policy is like I will not say something unless I will say it to that person's face. I have no problem walking over to the other room right now and going to my wife. I don't want two doors. And she'll just say you're a jerk and walk away. Fair, fair criticism, but it's to the point where nothing I say shocks her anymore. I'll be married. It'll be 12 years in July. So at this point, it's like there's nothing I can say really that would shock her, for the most part. And
Yeah, pretty much.
I was just, you're an idiot. You're a jerk. I mean, it's like, yeah, you've known me longer, far longer than she has. And you're like, oh, this
That's on
is,
par.
it's on par with everything I've ever known about you going back 30 plus years now.
I think the one thing that it's going to be fun to see with IndyCar is when we get to the 500, they've changed the rules there on the front stretch.
This no more snaking into the pits,
Yeah, you can't
the pit
cross
line.
that line.
I think that's a fair rule change.
I do think that's good. Is if something happened, you have cars going, they're what,
Especially
200
if you
at
hit that
least?
barrier, like if you mess up and you hit that barrier or clip that barrier, there's not a lot of space. Once the pit wall starts, there is not a lot of space, and you have a big pile up. Ugh, that would get ugly.
Or you send a car spinning down pit road, hits wall, flips
Crews.
over. There's all sorts of
If
crews
you're
and
in the
equipment.
middle of pit stops and you got a crew out there and you got a out of control car flying through the pits, that could be bad.
Luckily, they have a pretty long buffer. It's not like you have pit road and then the first stall.
Right,
It's
right. Yeah,
pretty far
it's
down,
a
but
long,
still,
one of the longer pit roads that you'll see.
I think that's a good rule change.
I think so.
And
I agree.
hopefully, we don't have we're gonna stop it and go green with one lap to go.
The thing, like, going back to that, I mean, from a TV entertainment standpoint, they've got two to go or whatever, and you got the guy on the guy on the flag stand, and he like triumphantly raises the red flag and like holds it up as the crowd goes wild. I'm like, can you get any more WWE than that? I mean, that was such a like sell it to the crowd moment with and the thing is like, you look at the NFL, like the NFL is a classic example of this. Have you ever noticed when the referee is making a penalty call that favors the home team, that's a very like game changing call? There's more emphasis in how the penalty is announced and how they like, it's like, oh no, there was a holding, there's, oh no, they scored a touchdown and the home team's gonna lose, but oh, wait, holding on the offense, number 63. And like the ref is like absorbing the cheering as he, like Ed Hockey.
The ones I like best are hockey refs. There was one just a couple weeks ago. He comes out. You're not gonna like this call. We have no goal.
Like that was an
The
all-time
hockey refs
great.
are just so stone cold. They are
Yeah,
hilarious.
you got that. You're not gonna like this. There was an MLB umpire the other day, or oh, I don't know if it's the other day, but I saw the clip the other day, and he sent it to the replay booth, and the replay comes back, and umpire, the manager gets mad about it, and the umpire gets caught on hot mic going, "Hey, once it goes to New York, it's their call." It's like I don't have any say in the matter. What are you getting mad at me for?
You're just the person in front of me.
Yeah, yeah, that's refereeing. Yeah. So went to Phoenix Raceway this weekend. Back on track here.
Hey, you were there Saturday.
I was there Saturday. I walked in, and kids were getting really antsy because it's like they want to go play in the infield play kids play area. They want to play in the NASCAR kids zone out in the midway area. And it's like, fine, I get it. But it's like once we leave the infield to go out to the midway area, we're not coming back. Like we got to go to our, we're going to our seats after that. So it's like, let's stay down here. I want to look at the garages. I bought these passes. I want to go look at some cars, darn it. And they're getting really antsy, and my kid has to go to the bathroom like 20 times every place we go. And coming out of the bathroom, and one of the Penske marketing guys walks up. It's like, hey, you have this car? And go, no. And hands 164, it's the Logano, the Hump. We can't really see it because of the sticker. There we go. The Hunt Brothers pizza that he ran in Phoenix. 2024 limited edition. I don't think this is even available in stores yet. And he just hands it to my kid. I go, hey, I got another kid over there too. Can I get one for my kid? I was being completely serious. I wasn't trying to swipe one for myself. And so I got one for my other kid, and we're walking back to my wife and my other kid who are sitting there we're sitting at the tables in the infield eating. And one of the other Penske marketing people walks up to the table as we're right about to get there and hands my other kid a one of these Logano ones. So now I have three. So I'm like, hey, cool. Now I got one for myself.
I got one.
Yeah, so I got my 2024 Hunt Brother Pizza Joey Logano 2024 Mustang limited edition car. So left it in the
That's cool.
box. Yeah, so got myself a die cast out of it. Uh we were leaving, or we're getting ready to leave. We made it through stage two. They got really antsy. Frankie Muniz ran. His car was having some problems. He felt really off pace, but I went and watched the replay of the race after like Saturday night, and just they interviewed him in the car and they talked to him before, and it's just like, oh man, he has so much energy and just so much enthusiasm. It was so awesome to see that. But um, my other highlight, two highlights in the pits. So if you've ever been to Phoenix Raceway, there's an entrance on by the dog leg where you go under a tunnel and then you take an escalator up and you're on the infield. As we're walking off the escalator, I hear this screech and in the crowd, and I turn around and look behind me, and I see Josh Berry on his qualifying run backwards with his car hitting the wall, backing up to the wall. I was like, whoa. So again, my kid who likes to go to the bathroom 20 times every place we go is on her way to the bathroom with my wife. My other kid are standing there, and I see Josh Berry angrily pulling back into the garage area. And I'm like, oh, ooh, let's go check this out. And walk into the garage, pulls in, parks it, roots the net out, gets out of the car, takes his helmet off, just kind of out of frustration, walks over, and he looks in his car's all, it wasn't that bad. It was scuffed up on the front end. He just looks down. You could just see it on his face, like just like you could see him swearing to himself, looking at the damage of the car, and he just walks away. I'm like, oh, that was wild. So then now I'm walking out of the garage. I'm walking back to the bathroom, and I stop because right there's the crossing from leaving the track to go back to the garage area for the cruise only. But there's this, I don't know, it's about 40, 50, it's probably 50 feet or so spacing in between that. Like there's like a crossing, and it's probably. Chris Buescher's car's getting pushed back to the garage. And I look over my shoulder and do a double take, and here comes Brad Keselowski. He just walks right by me. I'm like, oh, cool. I was like,
That's
hey.
awesome.
She's like, hey, Brad, how's it going? So that was my moment. Um, Snapped kind of a action shot of him walking away from me, but that was cool. Or you just stand there and it's like, oh, I see you on TV every weekend. Cool. Yeah, the race was
When we get to May, I'm kind of tempted to take my little one to the qualification day for the Grand Prix. They have autograph sessions and things going on. And I really think he would
get the head.
like watching the cars. We have headphones or headset or
Yeah, get
ear
the.
protection.
Yeah, Amazon sells a pretty. I mean, I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't much. But it fits over the ears, and I mean, I was how old was I when I first went to an Indy test session? I was probably 4. Yeah, I was probably 4, and I vividly remember going because I just remember the cars whizzing by. So this I would have been 4. So this would have been like 1989, 1990. Those cars were loud, really loud back then. And all I remember is just sitting there like this. I no ear protection, nothing, and I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, we
oh.
have ear protection for him already. I figure hang out, just watch a little bit of qualifying, let him see a few cars. I don't think it really costs that much to go in.
Nah, it's pretty. They may not even charge to get in at this point, especially
Yeah,
for that race.
let him see it, and there's not a ton of people there, especially
No,
for the
no,
Grand
it's
Prix. So it'd be
not
nice to get
not
him
for
to a
that.
big event and let him get some experience at something like that.
I mean, my
We'll see
kids
what
were
happens.
almost 4.5 when we took them to their first race,
Yeah, I
and
definitely won't take him to a race. He's not ready for that. But just something that we can
well,
kind of hop in
here's the
and leave that.
thing too is if you want, I don't know what Indy's gonna do, but is Xfinity gonna be on the oval too, or are they going to IRP?
Um, I think they're IRP.
I can't remember.
The trucks are.
The trucks are IRP. I know that. I know Xfinity's raced on the oval before. Let's see. We're gonna look July. Nope, they're on the speedway. Wait,
62 laps. I guess so.
yeah, they're doing the oval. 62 laps, 151 miles. Yeah, that
And
adds
they
up.
call it a 250.
Pennzoil 250. Yeah, so the thing is, like, when I introduced the, like, when I was looking for tickets, I was debating what we were gonna do. But if there's, well, I mean, obviously trucks over there, but if you take them to Michigan Speedway or whatever, look at the Xfinity tickets. They're probably gonna be free for the kids, and they're dirt cheap.
I I can maybe consider going to Xfinity, but I will not go to the Cup race at Michigan again.
From the parking experience to the egress out, if I remember
The
correctly.
Yeah, the parking. Well, the parking was okay. It was the getting there and especially the leaving that was atrocious. The management of it was awful.
And that was the rain out too. You had to come back on Monday, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it twice.
How bad was it? Was it like was it bad Sunday too? Even though
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So
Sunday
it
and
wasn't
Monday were
wasn't a
both.
case of they had half staff for Monday and then it's just they were
It
unprepared.
was equally awful.
That's no good. Like that stinks. Like they've been racing at Michigan for a long time. You'd think they'd have that figured out. I look at this and I look at all these things that you would think are they should have figured out, like parking and like Phoenix Raceway. Great job, like just a great job for in and out of there. They closed the roads and they'll leave like one. It's like, well, it's like four lanes, two on each side, or actually, I think it's five lanes. They have like a turn lane to the center, but they basically move the cones and redirect traffic. So it's like on the way in, there's like four lanes. On the way out, it's four lanes. And yeah, you park back. You've been to Phoenix Raceway once with me back when I first
Yep.
moved here. Remember, we had to walk a lot to get up to the track, and now you don't have to do that anymore. Like they
Yeah, I
have
remember
a
we were parked pretty far back.
and they and I made the mistake of pulling into the parking spot, so like backing out was terrifying. Um, but they paved a road right. They basically split the parking lot in half, and they paved a road down the center of it. And they have these big pickup trucks towing these like tram seats, and they have like five stops along the way, and then they just turn around and come back. And you have to wait in line for the tram, but they'll drive you to the end of the lot for free. And you just get in your car and go. And
Hmm.
they've really done a great, like, for the racing is up, and the car have been heavily criticized, but everything they do at that facility is extremely well done. The parking situation, the drive in, the drive out, the tram to get you to the gates. Getting in was very easy. Accessing the infield through the garage. I mean, we had passes too when you came out here for that race. And remember, we had to like walk like all the way around to the old turn four and go under this tunnel. And then what they do is they just like open this gate on the track, and we like walked off the track.
Yeah, I remember we were walking on the
We were
track.
walking on the track like an hour before the race started, and then they just funneled us. They just put these like temporary stairs, and we just walked off the track.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
but I
was
mean,
fun.
yeah, that was great. I had a lot of fun with that too. I got a lug nut my nightstand in my bedroom that one of the crew guys gave, and we ended up on TV that day. Uh, Still have that picture somewhere. But they've done such a great job with that facility. It's so well laid out. They have the whole midway area. It looks like a state fair almost the way it's set up. It's very well organized. They've got all the activities for the kids. The concourse is very nice. All the bleacher seating's all gone. It's all individual seats. It's like if they can only fix the on track product there, they'd have a great race. And, it's people are
I think
screaming
it's what
for
the drivers are calling for. Give us more horsepower.
and Danny Hamlin was talking about gearing too, which is more horsepower is the short term fix. The gearing needs to be
Yeah, that's the bigger piece.
bigger piece, but and everyone's like screaming, "No, move the championship back to Homestead." No, no, I want my championship weekend. Darn it! Take away Phoenix's second weekend. No, no, I will not allow that. But it's just
Yeah,
like I mean, a lot of the facilities I've heard Charlotte's very nice. Daytona's very nice.
I like
But
Daytona.
I've heard some of the facilities are like, I mean, I again, this is hearsay. I don't know if this is true or not, but it's the internet. It doesn't matter anymore. We've learned this. I've heard that Atlanta is garbage. It's not a nice facility. Is it? I don't know. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But move
Yeah,
the
if you've
race to
been there, let
Atlanta.
us know.
The reason Phoenix has this race in the first place is because they invested the money in the facility. It's a nice facility. You've got great weather. You're not going to have, like, if you move the race, someone was suggesting, oh, move it to Charlotte or move it to Bristol. I'm like, Bristol? Like, you could have a freak snowstorm the first week of November or the second week of November in Bristol. And then
Oh, yeah,
what?
it's
What are
got
you
to
going
be
to do?
south.
Then what are you going to do? So it's like, speaking like, where are you gonna have your finales? Because it's like when they were doing the finales in Atlanta, they were in like early October. Like the race season now runs in November. I mean, I guess you could do Atlanta, but I think the drivers would hate that, especially with the new track config.
Yeah, new configuration would be terrible.
You could do Homestead, but my understanding is that Homestead needs some track updates. Congratulations to Colton Gardner, by the way, clinched the championship tonight. He just messaged me back. Thank you. That's feared the beep. Um, you got yeah, so you've got
I guess
Atlanta,
you could
you've
look
got
at Texas.
Homestead, you got Texas, which everyone hates. Rumors that it's going to repave though, and maybe redo a reconfig. Uh, you got Phoenix. You could do Las Vegas. That's it. I mean, or like I suggested last week, let's bookend the season with Daytona. let's just put it all out there on the super speedway to start and end the year because why not?
I guess it's far enough south. You could look at Talladega,
Yeah, the problem too with Talladega is especially that time of year they don't
restrictor
have
plate.
light. They don't have lights. It's restrictor plate. Yeah, they don't have lights on that track. It gets dark early in November. You're going to be in a really compressed schedule to try to fit your trucks, your Xfinity, and your Cup.
And again, you don't want a championship on a restrictor plate track.
No, no. I mean, that's
You want to
that's
showcase the drivers,
yeah.
not follow the leader.
So yeah, so basically, okay, so fix up Phoenix or fix up Phoenix. They don't need to fix up. They need to fix the on track product. Fix up Homestead, and that's really about it. Like you could in theory have a freak bad weather in Charlotte. It does snow occasionally in North Carolina. You're not going to do
Yep.
it at like Darlington or something like that. Could you imagine a championship race at Darlington?
Oh man, bring new meaning to the Southern 500.
I mean, you could have used Auto Club NASCAR, but no.
Such a good track to be
It was.
gone.
It was a good track. And it was really coming too with that older setup. And you're not going to end it on a road course, so Coda's out. Like, what are you going to do? You have only it's November. You've gone into the second week of November. You have only five options, maybe three of them reasonable. I mean, it's basically you've got Phoenix, you've got Las Vegas, you've got Homestead. And that's it.
Yeah, not many options.
I don't know what you do. I mean, fix the car. That's the easy problem.
Yeah, right now it's all car. They're just
E-
underpowered.
Everybody loves to visit Phoenix in November. That's why they do it. Fix the car, keep the race here. It's for selfish reasons.
Speaking of Homestead, we just visited.
We did visit Homestead on Tuesday night, and I am still really mad at myself. I'm sure you're mad at yourself too.
No, not really.
I
I'm
mean,
bummed, but
walked away
what
with
can
a
you do?
second.
You're fighting for the win and you gotta do what you gotta do and came up 0.062 short.
Yeah. And I ate it coming out of two, and the big open area on the backstretch prevented me from just obliterating my car. But I fell back to sixth, and I just cursing myself the rest of the race that I'm just like, I can't believe I did that.
You can maybe put part of that blame on me because the lap prior, I went low and trying not to slide up and take both of us out.
Yeah.
So I think
I
you
mean,
maybe
it was
got
my
thrown
own
out of
fault.
rhythm a little bit.
It was my own fault. I mean, that was just such a rookie mistake that I made. And I'm just like, I was up as high as second on the restart. I decided to stay out, didn't have a great restart, and I just fell back and then I lost it. And it's just like, this is stupid. I can't believe I did. But
Yeah, Ian Miller pulls in his
Ian
first
had a great week.
Indy win, finished second the following night at Dover. And Joshua Chinsky
Dover,
had a great run too, ended up finishing third, had an unlucky spin, but saved it and still five more laps might pass both of us.
Dover was exhausting. Uh, Honestly, have you let just from just strictly? I mean, obviously endurance that's a different animal. Have you walked out of a Wednesday night dash exhausted? before, like just either physically or mentally exhausted after that race.
I was actually pretty good after Dover.
I was just like, just I'm done.
The ones that I get more tired on are Daytona and Talladega.
I agree that you have to have that intense focus because someone just
Because if somebody steps out of line, you got to be ready to go.
I was watching the NASCAR and iRacing. It was at Atlanta, and one of the NASCAR drivers was giving his like, how do you work your way up the field at NASCAR? And he gave some really good tips actually. He showed how he's starting in the back. And basically, what he would do to drivers, because you can use that side draft in the next gen so well, if he was up on the quarter panel or could get up to the quarter panel before they go into a turn, he would come up and take the turn and make it three wide and side draft the person and make basically throw them off their, off their line a little bit and then just swoop in, and he did it over and over again, and he like methodically worked his way up like 10 spots over a handful of laps. I'm like, that's a good strategy. I'll have to take that into account in the future. But man, Dover was just, I was completely off pace, and then I get into the race tonight and I'm like, I could barely break, like I was in the 23s, like high 23s. And then something happened where it just like kind of clicked for a while. And I'm like, oh, here's a 23:044. I'm like, where did that come from? That's like 7/10 faster than any lap I ran in practice. And then I broke my toe link about halfway through the first run, just kind of whacked the wall a little bit. And then I was like a full second off pace. And we hit the stage break. So I took the lucky dog, and I had to like stay out an extra lap instead of taking the lucky dog and then pit. And uh, Fernando, Takahashi, and Colton were the first two out, and I had to get behind them, and I actually was in third place for a while. And I'm just like, I gotta, I need tires. I ended up having like 44% left on my front, right? I'm like, I desperately need tires. And I hopped in and then I jumped back in line with about a lap and a half before going green again. It was a survival week. There was some rough moments in the racing, but generally it was pretty clean. I Cleaner than I thought it would be.
Yeah, luckily Netco didn't jump out there. I had quite a few just door-to-door moments on exits and
Oh, coming out of turns, there were quite a few that just scrape. You'd see the white smoke from the wall scrapes. I lost count of how many times I saw that tonight.
I had two really good saves. One in the first half, I was
Yeah,
squirrely down the front
yeah, and
stretch. I think that's when you
that's
got back by
I
me.
I got ahead of you, and then I broke my toe link like two laps later, and then you made up like 4 seconds on me in like four laps.
Then second turn, I'm going by one of the cars and a little too hot. And started putting it sideways and oh, save it, save it. Okay, I'm good. Man, that was a yo-yo of a
No,
race for me.
yeah, fourth and sixth, second. I got six both nights. How about that? Wow, not great, but it'll work.
I'll take a second to fourth. Not a
Second
bad
and fourth.
week.
That's not bad. So I get the finale next week for Wednesday Night Dash, and we're moving to trucks in April. If you want to
It'd be
race
fun to
with
get back
us,
in those.
I got a special promo deal for anyone who looking to get into the truck series. Sign up before next Wednesday, and I will pay your pro rate to get into the last race.
Hey, there you go.
There you go. So you get a few more cars into the finale, get a head start on who's messaging me on just oh no, that's alert. Yeah, we'll get you into the finale, run a next gen, get to know everybody, and we'll start fresh in April. We might run some unofficial things in the 3 weeks we have of downtime, and yeah, it'll be a
Hopefully, I
good
don't
time.
miss three races next season.
Yeah, hopefully. So we got the schedule posted, and we're gonna kick it off April 17th from Pocono, And we're going to do the 2008 Atlanta configuration on April 24th. We're going to do a night race at Daytona on May 1st. May
We've
15th,
not been under
worldwide.
the lights there yet.
No, we haven't. May 15th, we're going to go to Gateway. May 22nd, New Hampshire. 29th, back to our trusty Homestead. June 12th. June 12th. The first time that Wednesday Night Dash has visited Sonoma.
That truck is squirrely at Sonoma.
Yeah, it is. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun though.
I
That's
might have tested it too hot there too.
and then June 26th, Michigan. July 10th will be Charlotte, and then we're gonna close it out under the lights at Las Vegas on July 17th.
Well, you know that Michigan date's gonna be starred for me.
Yeah, you've had pretty good luck there at that track for the most part lately.
Yeah, tended to run pretty well. Charity race was a different case, but a couple other things
I
I think
I,
were going on that one.
I don't know why on the just I can't figure out the next gen at Michigan. I don't know what the problem is. I was just so like just off pace. Whatever. It's the Aki in the truck. It's been a while since we've
Yeah,
been on the trucks, so we're looking forward to getting back in.
it's
Again,
been 1 or 2 years almost.
yeah, we did summer 2022 was the last time we did the trucks. So get in. It's $40 registration fee for the $10 that covers the broadcast fee. All the excess gets thrown into the prize pool. So the more people we have, we get the bigger the prize pool. So just to give you an idea, ballparking it, our champion Colton Garner is gonna walk away with over $100 as the champion this time. I mean, it was a pretty dominant season, but you come away out of the top three. One, you're breaking even, finishing third, bare minimum. But you do a good, you do well. You're gonna come away with over $100 in your in the pool. So
It's not too bad.
not too bad at all. And
And we grew up being told you can't make money playing video games.
take that, mom and dad. You can't make a career out of video games. You can't make money playing video games. Yes, I can, and I will.
Indy series has the next 2 weeks off.
Yep. And the big one at Auto Club.
Yeah, 250 miles. That'll be
That's
fun.
that's gonna be a marathon, and it's under the lights too.
Yeah, it's a evening start time, so
We'll finish the race. Yeah, sim time will be like midnight with the race ends. Oh, I'm looking forward to that one. I like that track. It's a good
that
track for.
that one can be a tiring race
Yes, it can.
because if you're in the draft, there's passing and there's going to be 2 and 3 wide, so you got to stay on it.
So get in and as part we do all kinds of extra events to as part of being in these leagues, active members of the league. So we'll throw some unofficial things. We might have some SRX racing that we might do in the downtime. We do our fun race at the end of the year where we no entry fee into the fun race, and you come away as the winner. You might walk out of there with like $20 or something like that. So a lot of perks getting into our leagues. We got a really good group between our two leagues that we run.
And
We
also here in the next few weeks, we'll have more of our endurance team rolling stuff out.
Yes, so yeah, we're planning on getting that firmed up that we can start a monthly endurance race. Uh, More or less the theme will be in line with the iRacing events. So as the Petit Le Mans comes up in the fall, that'll be like a monthly. Daytona will be a monthly. But after that, we mix it up a little bit, try some different things. We do some, we got rain now we can mess with. Uh, we do some rain. We can go to Mid Ohio. I'm very
Um,
curious with the Team 15G where they ran the GTP or actually they did actually GT3, LMP2, and GTP at Bristol in the rain and loopholed somehow where they got it raining at Bristol.
That would have been fun.
I'm guessing what they did. I haven't tried this yet, but I'm guessing if you use a car that supports rain tires, then you might be able to set the track for rain. But we'll have to experiment with that. I have to assume we're going to see Indy rain tires before the end of the year,
I would assume those will come up.
next season probably. So I guess here's the question. Let's just say hypothetically, we're planning on, I guess the plan is to do two Indy seasons this year, 10 and 10. Do you do a road course in the rain as a race?
Probably not direct rain, but I maybe would consider getting a chance of rain into the forecast. Just add another dynamic.
Oh man, could you imagine you get Indy Road and it starts raining and you got to pit for rain time? Remember that race a couple years ago at Indy where it rained and it's like it's dry on the back part, but it's raining up on the
Yep.
the front. That's chaotic.
Yeah, I'd probably find a little bit on the easier track side, like blind turns like Mid Ohio or Road Atlanta. Indy would probably be a good candidate for it.
I'm trying to think what else.
Can you imagine rain on the corkscrew at Laguna?
No, no, absolutely not. Laguna
And
at dry is terrifying enough for me.
I think doing that would actually fit
Barber,
in. Yeah, that could
Road
do.
America,
Long Beach.
definitely does rain in Southern California. It rains like
No,
2 inches a year.
I think it fits in with what we're doing. It takes strategy and kind of plotting ahead. So it could make it fun. Not
It's
like heavy
it's a
rains,
fun
but
dynamic.
just a light rain.
So my side note, my kids are like, I kind of picking a driver. And one of my kids is like decided to go full like Kyle Larson for whatever reason. Don't know why, but like whatever. Fine. My other kid got a Kyle Larson hat because it was pink and she likes pink. But then we were looking at it and she saw the William Byron. It was like a Rainbow Warrior throwback. The Exalta, what's it called?
I
And
got the old school.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But big fan. She's like, I like the rainbow. Like, I like the rainbow car. Like, okay. I mean, honestly, though, I mean, the thing is, like, we were both big Jeff Gordon fans as kids, and I think at least from my perspective, he wasn't born in Indiana, but he lived a lot of his youth in Indiana, and he was an Indiana guy, known as an Indiana guy, and that's kind of why I clinged on to Gordon. I mean, it helped too that he was really really good. I mean,
It
was that the same for you?
Yeah, it really helped, especially with the Brickyard
Yeah, Brickyard win
winning the
'94.
inaugural and then having his connection to Pittsburgh. Like, hey, he's from Indiana.
I actually have a framed ticket from the inaugural race. I did not go to it. The only Brickyard I ever attended was 2007, and Tony Stewart won that one actually. Never won a 500, but you could tell he was super pumped about winning the Brickyard. Anyway, uh, yeah. So tune in to the what do we got this weekend? We got Bristol, and we got no Formula One this weekend, and no IndyCar. So we're back to just NASCAR for our recap show on the weekend.
Yeah, IndyCar has a couple weeks until their All-Star race at Thermal. We'll see how that goes.
What could go wrong having having a exhibition race essentially at a country club?
And then we have until the 24th for the Australian Grand Prix.
Yes, which will probably be live.
Yeah, we
Actually,
were live last year, so hopefully no red flags this time around.
or pacing around and the big chaotic restart with like two to go. That was wild. That was probably the highlight of the year. In the last 20 races in Formula One, Max Verstappen has won 19 times.
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz in Singapore is the lone. Yeah, they showed Max's last 20 starts. First, then you have a fifth. First. He doesn't like Singapore very much, does he?
No, I
I
did
think,
see another renewed call for Andretti to get in with Ollie Bearman having such a good run.
yeah. Yeah, it's funny. He's in high school too. And he went back there was a clip of him coming back to school on Monday afterwards. And there was like this whole like honor guard of students greeting him as he like got out of his car. He get dropped off at school, and they're all the kids are like lining up and like cheering for him as he walks in. He's like high-fiving people, and it's just basically like a line of students. And like, man, can you imagine like he's what 18 years old, essentially
Yeah.
the senior in high school. You come back, yeah, you're running Formula One, driving for Ferrari on Saturday night, basically in Saudi Arabia, and then you're back on a plane and you're in school on Monday morning. Just like what?
Hopefully not to jinx them, but I think two races into a season and Red Bull's already locked up at least fifth place in the constructors.
Yeah,
Because I'm sorry, but I don't think Haas, Williams, Sauber, Red Bull Jr., or Alpine are going to catch them.
I would be shocked at this point. I'll be shocked if Alpine scores points this year.
And even currently, Aston Martin might have a stretch to get there.
What's funny though is there was this thing that said, uh, there was a picture of Lance Stroll. He wrecked his car, and it said Pierre Gasly donated his car to help move, you know, help move Lance's wrecked car off the track. And it shows like they bring out the heavy vehicle to with the crane to lift it off, and somebody took the crane and put an Alpine logo on the side of it.
Yeah, it's funny.
Oh man, classic. Yeah, Mercedes is looking, yeah. I mean, honestly, right now, Ferrari looks like the best chance to like potentially win a race other than Red Bull.
Yeah.
While the team could be imploding. What is going on there?
Hey, another move to let's get Andretti in.
And the thing is, apparently, allegedly, again, allegedly, the internet says this, that if Helmut Marko leaves the team, whether he quits, retires, or is fired, Max can terminate his contract without penalty. Christian Horner, it's pretty widely known he wants Marco gone.
So, ultimate scenario here. Red Bull implodes. Max goes to Mercedes. Checo comes over to Andretti, and they're in.
I mean,
Team
it's
number 10.
it's yeah. There's a report earlier this week from allegedly from some German publication that Christian Horner is being fired before Australia. Another reporter said, "Nah, that's not true." I have no idea what's going on at Red Bull right now. What a mess.
Yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens. We'll toss our projections, but we won't speculate or speak
I
ill of anything.
Like I said, the only way that Red Bull can lose at this point is if they implode internally as a team. And I never expected that to actually be a possibility.
And Newey's RB20 is insane.
Yeah. And apparently Ferrari's wants him and has offered him a blank check for a contract. But Red Bull insists he's not going anywhere and he's working on a hypercar design. Be very interesting to see what happens in the next couple of months, but we will keep an eye on that.
The soap opera that is Formula One. It's
It's
almost
like
like a reality show. Like, is
like
this actually real?
uh, it's like at this point, like what nothing, and it's like at the end, nothing ends up happening, but it was just because people are losing interest. They created this Red Bull drama behind the scenes.
What I see, their viewership last week was like nil.
No, it was not. I mean, it was in line with. It wasn't necessarily that it was nil. It was in line with what it has been for a lot of these races. I mean, it was a Saturday morning. It started at like okay, it was like noon Eastern. So I mean, it wasn't a terrible time for it. It was a Saturday, it wasn't a Sunday, but noon Eastern, and I think the Xfinity race outdrew it.
I think a lot of it, people are just getting bored of it.
I'm
It
I,
the
I'm
last race, the number I saw was 25 on track passes.
There's like 25 on track passes in like a couple laps of an Indy Oval race. All right, here's the numbers from last week. F1 920,000 on ESPN2. The Xfinity race at Phoenix had 1.087 million on FS1. So yeah, so you have cable to cable. So that's it was like 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Um, the IndyCar race Sunday morning, Sunday or early afternoon, 975,000 on NBC. And then the Cup Series at Phoenix, 4.028 million. Last year they did the same race, did 3.389 million. So NASCAR had the Cup Series had actually both Cup and Xfinity had a really good weekend ratings wise. Uh, with all the criticism of Fox, I mean, how much of it is because the previous first handful of races were so good? Like, why all of a sudden is there an increase in ratings despite Fox and all the criticism they take for how they broadcast the event?
Yeah, it'll be fun to see how it goes.
The ARCA race at Phoenix drew 366,000 on Saturday night, and it was cut short by rain in Phoenix.
That doesn't happen.
Like it rains like one day in March. Every year it'll rain like one day. And it just so happened to start raining, and they actually stopped the race for lightning, and then it started raining. I'm like, what?
What is going on here?
I'm like, do they even have track dryers at that? Because I've never seen them. But I mean, the track was fine Saturday morning, so whatever. Anyway, we are way over time, as frequently happens here. So tune in to the Wednesday Night Dash season finale next Wednesday. We'll have the race weekend recap for Bristol Sunday night, or I guess Monday morning. And
Oh, I actually posted in the last hour here.
oh,
Chip Ganassi Racing will be without a manufacturer following the 24
oh
season of
yeah,
the
Cadillac.
WC IMSA.
Yeah, Cadillac is they're splitting. That you're gonna say it. And Devlin DeFrancesco is not letting it go that Chip Ganassi killed his dog. It's just terrible, but like,
Yeah, I feel bad.
yeah, I mean, it sucks. But oh, what a what a what a crazy world we live in.
It is. That's why
And
we like to bring humor to the day.
we try to at least. I mean, my wife just says I'm stupid, an idiot. Like, it was, I said something funny, and she just looks at me. You're just such a. Anyway, enough making fun of my wife because I'm at this point I made done it enough that it'll probably get back to her, and then she'll call me a moron again. It happens. At FR Racing online on all your favorite social media, as long as TikTok doesn't get banned in the US, which after
Past the
after
house.
after this week, I mean that's like I don't we don't do politics on this show because politics are stupid. They're
We're about the
important, but they're
sports.
stupid. But you want to know the quick? I'm gonna give you some free advice, politicians. The quickest way to lose the Gen Z vote, which you need, is to ban TikTok. Not only all the small business owners that have made their living off of going viral on TikTok or having great response on TikTok and building their businesses. It's like, okay, I get the national security thing and China and all that, but there's going to be some consequences, some I forget what the term is, but just the things you're not taking into account here is you're going to cripple some small businesses here. I mean, we do decently well on TikTok for some reason. I don't know why, but we do decently well. We'll survive if TikTok goes away, but there's a lot of people you're going to screw if you take TikTok out of the equation. So,
Yep.
I mean, I get what they're doing, but whatever. Like, let's use some common sense here instead of just ban things. Maybe we should step back and think. Let's find a better way to approach this. And that is my 2 cents on that. At FR Racing Online, including TikTok for now. FRRacingOnline.com. Come join us. We're racing again Wednesday Night Dash, April 17th. Like I said, you get in before the finale next week. I will personally pay your prorated entry fee. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Take care.